Hello and welcome to this report and a short update about where I'm at, just to give you a little bit of a heads up. So this update is going to cover the astrology for the week ahead. I'm going to take you through some very interesting astrology that we have as we move toward a new moon coming up this weekend. Okay, it's happening on the 10th. Now, beforehand, I just want to give you a little bit of insight on where I'm at. I'm still taking clients for my online consultations for traditional astrology. I am doing all kinds of charts, from natal charts to solar returns to horary to medical astrology. You name it. If you're not sure, you can just email me or go to my website, which I've just changed to danielleashley.com.au. And you can see all the services there. If you don't know what is best suitable for your need, then just send me a message and I'll help you out. I'm also doing in-person acupuncture. I'm doing a lot more of that. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, but it is giving me a bit less time to do these videos. So I'm taking this window of opportunity to do this. But yeah, if you have any health problems, that you want to work at, you can reach out to me. I have a clinic in the Dandenong Ranges. I do bring in astrology, depending on the client and their openness to that additional information. Working with the earth and the sky, working with your body and the intel of the cosmos. And there is a direct correlation and alignment that happens all the time, which really blows my mind. So yeah, you can check that out on the website too. But for now, let's go into the astrology of the week ahead. Now, I know a lot of people have got festivals coming up. They've got social events coming up this week or this weekend, things that they're planning. I think with a bit of an overview of the astrological energies at play, this can help you to prepare and to make the best of situations as they arise. So, as I said, the new moon is coming up this weekend. Okay, it's going to happen on the 10th. So this whole week, the moon is waning. Okay, that means it's losing light. It's going toward its new moon phase. So there is an energy this week of really needing to clear, let go of, purge, okay, tie up loose ends and rest up. Remember, when there's little light, like not much light, when we have these kind of waning balsamic moons, that we don't necessarily have as much insight or as much observable information to go on. Okay, we might be going more on our instinct. Okay, it's more of an internal yin time. Okay, so that's more feminine, that's maybe a bit slower, maybe more important to do self-care during this time. Now, of course, life happens and we have fun events and things to head to. And so we can't always, just be having a bath and having an early night when we've got things to do. That's why I'm sharing this report. So the first key aspect of the week is happening like today and through tomorrow, and it's already been building and it will last for a few days. But the key aspect here is Venus is coming to square Uranus. Now, Venus is our planet of relationships, of harmony, of this sense of coming together with others. And Venus has been hanging out with Mars. Okay, Venus is in Aquarius. It's been conjunct with Mars, and it's starting to separate now, which is a bit of a relief for Venus. Okay, so this Venus-Mars conjunction could have brought some tension or discord. It could have brought up some challenges in relationships. Now, as Venus separates from Mars and she moves towards the square of Uranus, this could bring a time of, sort of continuation of that story, but desiring to do something maybe a little bit impulsive or erratic in response to the story that's been playing out recently in relationship. Now, Uranus is a planet of unpredictability. It can bring insights and breakthroughs. So, you may have seen what hasn't been working and actually have a breakthrough and share that with another person. On the other hand, it can be quite impulsive and a little bit destructive. So, or quite a lot destructive. So it can actually forge things to break apart. So we could see relationship breakdowns as well this week. So I just advise you to understand that this energy is present now. Okay, so whether we decide to ignore it or not, it is still working in the backdrop of our life here on Earth. And if this is affecting your birth chart, these aspects, so now this is happening in the mid degrees of fixed signs. Okay, so if you have any planets in Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, or Leo, in the mid degrees, from memory, it's around the 16 degree mark, give or take, 3 degrees each side, then you could really be getting triggered right now, or maybe something really needs to change in your relationships with others. This could even be bringing up, themes around really caring for yourself, and really doing what's right for you. Maybe you need to make changes because things haven't been actually nurturing you and feeling harmonious and feeling safe. So keep that in mind. Now, as we move through the week, we still have this sort of ongoing little bit of a party in Pisces. Okay, we've got the sun there, we've got Mercury there, we've got Neptune there, and we've just come off Saturn, and Saturn's still there, but Saturn's been entered into the heart of the sun and been Cazimi now. So this could have been like quite an insightful moment. Maybe you've got like a little bit of a zing around how you can really step up and like upgrade your productivity. Maybe there's a way that you found that is actually still in flow. Maybe there's a way that you can kind of step in, and you may have learned or come up with something like that, so you can actually make changes to the way that you actually, I guess, achieve your goals, but maybe with less force. Okay, because Saturn's in Pisces, it's mutable, so perhaps through making errors or mistakes, we've now learnt a lesson, and that could be part of this Saturn Cazimi. But again, we have quite a lot in Pisces right now. Piscean energy definitely tends to flow and spread out, and it can have a tendency to kind of shapeshift and morph and become like what it's close to. If you hang out with people of one sort, you could very much become a bit like those people, or it's very, very sensitive and can be somewhat porous energy. And so there could be a need to protect your energy at this time, or to consolidate your energy this time. So the energy of this, like later this week, kind of interests me, okay, because Mercury is moving towards Neptune. So as we get through toward the weekend, Mercury will start to conjoin with Neptune. Now, Mercury in Pisces, in traditional astrology, is in its sign of detriment, which means that it's not able to sort of be Mercury in a traditional sense. Now, Mercury is very cerebral. It's good at defining things, separating things, calculating things, making sense of things. Mercury in Pisces is the opposite of that. Okay, it's like mentally emotional. Okay, it can be maybe a little bit too emotional, like not very rational. Could be liable to foggy thinking, cloudy thinking, delusions. So this is definitely a theme. And as Mercury moves towards Neptune, and that happens over the weekend coming up, this can lead to an intensification of this type of energy, because Neptune tends to dissolve or to hyper spiritualize, or to kind of seek merging of things. So just be mindful of your mental state in this week ahead, especially as we move into the weekend. Be mindful of trying to keep a sense of boundary, or a sense of grounding, because there is a desire to really just let the mind go. And this is a bit of a risk when we're in a physical body. We need to have something to kind of hold on to, and when we let that go, it can feel a little bit kind of mad or loopy. So yeah, go easy on yourself. It can bring a really beautiful connection, or a sense of merging with others, a sense of almost being of the same mind, like of the cosmic mind, all connected, all one. This type of energy is definitely also going to be present across the weekend. So, just do your best to kind of tune in and be sensitive, but keep one foot on the ground at least at all times. Now, as we move into Friday, I want to be a bit more specific here. On Friday, it could be a little bit of a stressful day, okay, as we go through the day. Okay, so if you're preparing for the weekend, Friday could be a little bit like, fuck, I'm really stressed out. I'm a little bit pissed off. Like, I feel rushy. I feel like I'm hurrying around. The moon will be applying to Mars and conjoining it in Aquarius. And then the moon will square Uranus. So don't be too reckless at this point. Don't be too pushy. Don't drive too fast. Try and rein it in. It's still in the sign of Saturn, okay? Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, but Saturn's in Pisces. So it's sort of not providing a lot of an anchor for you, but it's still enough to go, okay, you know, I'm not going to let this delay stress me out. You know, I'm not getting what I want now, but I'm not going to crack the shits, you know, because if you're aware that the astrology is like that on Friday, you need to actually kind of reframe your response and be like, okay, this is going to shift out, you know, this is not forever. So what will happen is that late on Friday, the moon will separate from Mars and we should start to feel a little bit less hot, a little bit less like stirred up. Now this is quite late on Friday though. So, you know, if you are at an event or at a party or at a festival, then, you know, you should start to feel like, oh, okay. Then the moon will move toward Venus. Now, Venus is, again, it's a planet of reconciliation. It's a planet of harmony. The moon is translating the light. So it's moving the energy. It's taking the energy from Mars to Uranus to Venus. So this could actually have an effect of saying, well, I can see what's been a bit broken, what's been a bit fractured, what hasn't been working. Maybe I've made a shift, and hopefully, you know, we haven't been too quick about that shift with that moon Uranus square on Friday, but maybe that's been a positive thing because the actual outcome of this shift of energy is a move toward Venus, and so hopefully this can bring up healing in relationships. You know, maybe this can bring up the opportunity for a fresh view of on an existing problem. So anyway, we got moon Venus, which, you know, is going to help smooth out these relationship dynamics, hopefully. Now, as we go through, we've also got an underlying Mars Uranus square. Now that's happening all weekend. Okay, Mars Uranus. There's a lot of this Uranian energy. It's like, okay, we want to kind of graduate in our lives. You know, we want to upgrade our lives. We want to improve ourselves. We do need planets like Uranus and Mars to kind of force, or it's not, I don't like the word force, but sometimes if we're not willing, we need something to happen that actually pushes us along, okay? So this can actually be helpful, but in the backdrop is Mars square Uranus, okay? Mars in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus. Again, stirring up people in that mid-degree range of fixed signs, okay? So if that's you, you might feel like moving stuff around. You might feel like taking a bold move. You know, there could be a desire to change something that's been a certain way for a very long time. This is happening in fixed signs. So we're starting to shake up the foundations on which we stand. Now, so that's really important, you know, and as we move through, we move into Sunday, early hours, the moon will conjoin with Saturn. Again, that could bring a little bit of a lull. So Saturday itself looks all right. It looks quite good because of that moon Venus. But then as soon as the moon enters into Pisces on Sunday, early hours, it will conjoin with Saturn. Now, this can feel a little bit like, oh, shit, you know, I feel a little bit isolated, or I don't feel like I'm included in the group, or I feel a little bit like NQR, like not quite right. But again, the moon's a fast mover. So by the time we get to, you know, say middle of the day on Sunday, that should start to feel better. Now, how do you work with this moon Saturn energy? Do things like stretching, you know, do some qigong, anything that opens up the energy, because Saturn is contractive. Okay, moon Saturn is contractive. It's like that hiding away vibe, you know, like shutting down your energy. So if the moon hits Saturn, it's best to kind of warm things up, you know, dance, stretch, breathe deeply. Anything that gets the chi moving is going to help to sort of shake off and expand that Saturn. And remember too that in the backdrop, Saturn is in a sextile to Jupiter, and Jupiter is all about finding solutions. Okay, so it's it's important that we listen to the lessons of Saturn and we set certain boundaries in order for us to be safe. Okay. But the Jupiter connection that's present at the moment too helps us to grow and to learn the lessons. Okay. So that is something we can lean into all weekend, even if we feel, okay, or we feel a little bit like funny, Moon conjunct Saturn. But because the moon is actually also in aspect to Jupiter, there's a square to Jupiter. So it's like, okay, where is the healing in this? Where is the knowledge in this? What can I actually take from this experience to grow from? So look at it that way. Look at it that way. Try and, if you get stuck in anything that feels a bit dark or negative, just be grateful. That type of energy, that is a Jupiter energy. Focusing on gratitude is one of the highest frequencies, and it can really take you out of getting stuck in like lower frequency energy. Now, Sunday night, we have a new moon in Pisces. It's at 20 degrees of Pisces. So anyone who has planets in mutable signs, including Pisces, okay, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Virgo, this is going to be special for you, okay? It's going to be planting a seed somewhere in your chart, okay? It's the same for everyone. It's going to plant a seed in everyone's chart, depending on the house where you find 20 degrees of Pisces. Okay, so have a think about it. Do you know your birth chart? If you've got Pisces rising, then that new moon's going to land in your first house, okay? If you have got Aries rising, okay, that new moon is going to land in your 12th house. Okay, so it's just sort of going on that each way like this. And this new moon is an opportunity for you to soften down and to get into a flow, okay, and to listen very gently and carefully to sort of like the subconscious or to the unconscious messages, that are around, to feel into things, okay? It's very sensitive and connected. It's connected to the whole of consciousness. So it's a very trippy new moon. It's got this really beautiful capacity for healing and for coming together. Now, this new moon is under the rulership of the planet Jupiter. And I think this can actually be a good time to actually find a way to build a bridge. We do have that Mercury conjunct Neptune happening at the same time-ish. So again, we do have to be mindful to try and keep a little bit of stability and a little bit of solidity at this time. But also just to be around gentle people who are caring and who get you. Because with this type of sensitive energy, it's not necessarily the vibe to be around anyone who's sharp or who's not safe for you at this point. Because again, the veil of consciousness is quite thin at this time, okay? And again, it can be a good idea to make sure you're eating and very well hydrated. I mean, obviously we're eating, but eating properly, hydrating properly, sleeping enough. Okay, basic self-care things help a lot at this new moon. And then you can connect very deeply with that spiritual part of you that will help to guide you as you plant seeds for the new moon in Pisces. So check your chart, see what house it lands in. That will give you a guide as to what to do with this energy. Now, on Sunday night, we have Mercury leaving Pisces, where it is debilitated in traditional speak, in traditional astrology. It's been taking us through this sort of non-physical realm. Like we might have been feeling a little bit fuzzy or a little bit unfocused in a everyday sense, okay? But we might have had some beautiful creative ideas, or if you are a musician or an artist, maybe this has really worked well for you. So I'm not saying this is bad, but as Mercury moves out of Pisces and it enters into Aries, that psychological, mental, objective thought tone is likely to shift quite dramatically. Okay, Aries is cardinal and it is a fire sign and it is straight down the line. Okay, so the communication might have been a little bit fuzzy and a little bit fluffy and a little bit like non-direct and nondescript, and you might have even not known what people are actually saying. Like you could have been hearing people talk recently being like, I'm actually not understanding anything you're saying. But when that Mercury moves into Aries, the tone and the way that we receive those messages is also likely to change on a collective level. And again, we've got to be mindful of using our words with a bit of compassion, which we're a bit more good at, with that Piscean energy, or at least the Piscean tone is more compassionate. Aries energy is quite a bit more straight up. So that's going to be a really interesting weekend. I'm curious to see how it pans out for everybody. Remember, all this stuff is likely to affect you personally when and if it connects with important parts in your birth chart. Now, if you don't know your birth chart, I highly recommend you book in to see me, and I will take you for an exploration through all of the bits and pieces that make it up. Now, remember, the birth chart is not just about you. It's a very modern way of looking at it. It's about your whole life. It's about all the people that you meet. It shows the situations, it shows the events, it shows your family, it shows career matters, it shows home life, it shows all of your life. So it's absolutely fascinating. So yeah, if you need anything, please do reach out. I wish you the best for the week ahead. You can find me at Danielle Ashley Healing. That's my new name on Instagram and Facebook. My website is danielleashley.com.au. Take care. Bye.